Hello, welcome everybody. Hope you all can hear us now. I am so thrilled to see so many people in attendance, and I want to wish you all congratulations, because if you're here, that means that you've successfully submitted a video. And I hope that the process was not too onerous for you, but I want you to know that we are here for you. We have a fabulous team at Turk, and I will introduce a few of them, and you should feel free to interact with any of us if you have any questions. So I'm a little nervous to turn my computer screen around, so bring the mic closer to you. Okay. But I'd like you all to be introduced to Catherine Hobbs, who's been answering all of your questions that have come to the contact folder. I hope you've been getting answers pretty promptly to your questions. If you have any yeses, you can write that in the chat box. I hate the fact that this isn't interactive and I can't hear or see you, so help us by typing to us. And Kimberly Patton Dakota, who's done all the work on the social media and outreach, and not to mention putting together this PowerPoint. And Juan Lee, who is a senior engineer on our project and has made sure that the site is working. So those are three really important people besides myself, and we are very happy to hear from you often, so don't hesitate. Okay, so this is our 5th year hosting the STEM for All video showcase. It has grown each year, and this year we have over 240 presentations. Approximately 210 are funded or co-funded by NSF, and 40 are funded or co-funded by 10 other federal agencies. So that's really tremendous. It's important. So this is a fabulous opportunity because it brings together work from so many different funding organizations that you can find related work that you would never bump into at a conference within your own particular program. So it's a fabulous opportunity to find related work across agencies and across NSF directorates and beyond to other funding agencies. It's an opportunity to receive ideas and feedback from colleagues and other constituents, and for you to offer ideas and resources and feedback to your colleagues. It's also a great dissemination opportunity. I noticed in the poll that there were far more people who were interested in receiving feedback than giving feedback, but you know that equation doesn't really work. You've got to give feedback if you want to get feedback, so we'll talk about that later. Less than half the projects are affiliated with one of our partner NSF resource centers, which are Cadre, Stellar, CASE, CS for All Teachers, and Cyber Learning. This year, we had a tremendous increase in presentations related to broadening participation at the undergraduate and graduate level, and also a tremendous increase in teacher pre-service and in-service programs. So I'm sure that some of you who are on this webinar fit into one of those two categories, and we're really happy to welcome all these projects to the video showcase. So I'll start with the schedule. So this is really important, and of course these slides will be sent to you the day after, and you could share them with any co-presenters that couldn't come. So May 12th, on Sunday after 5 p.m., we silently open the site to presenters and co-presenters in order to give you an early view of the site and for you to begin to see the conversation with a welcome message. We know that some of you will not be able to get on Sunday night, and that's okay, then you'll get on Monday morning. But the reason that we do this is because it has been requested from us that a lot of the presenters or co-presenters want to put a welcome message so that the discussion goes in a particular direction that they're more interested in, and they don't want the first message to come from somebody else who maybe hijacks the conversation. So we give you that opportunity after 5 p.m. May 13th to May 20th is the official opening of the site, is the morning of May 13th. And this is where all the discussion takes place, and also voting, which I'll get to later. And on May 20th at 8 p.m., the discussion closes. Each year we get a few people who are surprised that the discussion closes, so please remember at 8 p.m. on May 20th, the discussion ends, as does the voting. On May 21st, we post those who are recognized as facilitator choice, presenter choice, and public choice, and we'll explain these later. And then this is the most important. From May 21st onward, what happens to the site? It stays live, it stays up, all the videos are still accessible, and all the discourse that took place remains available for you and for the public. Last year, the video showcase attracted 82,000 visitors from 186 countries. 36,000 of these visitors came during the week-long event, and then another 46,000 came during the year. So just because the week is over doesn't mean that people aren't still accessing it, viewing the videos, and viewing your work. So I want to go over the presenter's role. So the first thing, and I just mentioned this, is after 5 p.m. on Sunday, please view your presentation, see that it looks okay, become a little familiar with the site, and post a welcoming message to those who are going to come to visit. And then, during the week, facilitate discussion on your presentation so that when people write to you, they actually have somebody who writes back to them, and that just feels good for everybody. So I post here an example of a welcome message that I kind of like. It says, thank you for taking the time to watch our video. Our research team would be interested in your feedback, especially in regard to the following questions. Why I like this is because they set the tone for getting answers to the questions that they're interested in. It doesn't always work, by the way, but it's worth trying. And also, there's an opportunity there's an opportunity for you to realize that there are different kinds of constituents that come to this. So you could say, if you're a teacher, we would so like to hear about this. And if you're a researcher, we would so like to hear about that. So you could tailor this message and help to set the tone for your discussion. Another message that I like very much is thank you for visiting this presentation. Our exploratory project is in its formative phase. Why I like this is it sets expectation. Our project is just beginning. So we know this project's not going to have a lot of data on impact yet. They're just beginning. It's in its formative phase. All the projects that are presenting are all over the map. So some of them have been in progress for 2-3 years. Some of them are recently finished, and some of them are just beginning. So it's really nice to let people know where you're at. Okay. The second role of the presenter, and I have to tell you this is really important, is to cultivate your network and invite your network and stakeholders to view and comment on your video. So we were told many times by our videographer and others that videos don't just go viral. The people whose videos get a lot of views do a lot of work behind the scenes, letting people know that they want people to come into their videos and announcing it on social media. So on Sunday night, we're going to send you your presentation URL, which will be available for you to send out to others. A question that always comes up is, can we get the URL before Sunday night? If you want it because you want to give it to your communications department, we can send it to you, but please be aware that if people click on the URL before that, they're going to get a blank page, and it's very frustrating. So therefore, we wait and send it to you on Sunday evening when we open the video showcase to you for preview. We have a social media toolkit, which I am going to show you in just 1 minute. So go back. And we urge you to post to Facebook and Twitter from your presentation page. And don't forget to inform your institution's communications department, and we have some tools for you to use. And urge your colleagues to create an account so that they will have increased access to the site and for them to come in and to post. Okay. So here, I want to draw your attention. This is what the home page looks like, the small version of the home page, and you can see on the bottom circled that the social media toolkit that was created. And we urge you to share the showcase on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and by email with everyone you know, with parents, with colleagues, with participants in your project, with your NSF program officer. And if you're using social media, please use the hashtag #STEMVideoHall when posting. Okay, so before the event, you can make use of the social media toolkit page. We provide customizable press releases that you can download, and then you could just fill in the blanks and bring it to your communications department, and you could have them send out a press release about your project. I say this to you all because I know you're all interested in dissemination, and if you want this to be a great dissemination opportunity, doing some stuff to make that happen really helps. And for those of you who are going to go to your communications department and not have them send the press release till the video showcase is live, but want the URL a day or two in advance, send a message to the contact folder and we'll send it to you. The social media toolkit has promotional images for you to use when you post to Facebook and Twitter and sample social media posts. So we hope that you use them. And then during the event, you can use links on your presentation page, which I will show you during this presentation. And these social media share links from your actual presentation page will post a thumbnail of your video along with a direct link to it and a message that you can customize. So we've made it really easy for you to post beautiful messages on Facebook and Twitter. And so we're counting on you because all of you collectively have incredible reach, and that's what brings 36,000 people to the site in 1 week. And so the more people that you bring to the site, whether it's to your own page or to the showcase at large, the better this becomes as a dissemination event. Okay. The third role is to contribute to the collegial discourse on your colleagues' presentations. Okay, so this is a little less intuitive because everybody wants people to write to them on their own presentations. But I can tell you, if you don't view that of your colleagues, they're not going to be viewing that of yours. So in order for this to work, it's got to be a two-way street. And we make it really easy for you to find videos of interest, videos that are related to yours, and I'm going to get to that as well. And you and be sure when you go to their videos to comment on each of their presentations. And when you do comment, your name will be associated with being a presenter on another project. And when they click on your name, it will bring them back to your presentation. So being a good citizen to others actually gets traffic to yours as well. And then third is we ask you to vote for Presenter's Choice, which is a special way of just allowing presenters and co-presenters to have a special voice in affirming those presentations that they think are exemplary. And again, this is just the overview part, but I'll get to the details later. Okay. Yeah, so I think at this point, before I get, it's a good time to stop for questions. So Kim or Catherine, any questions you want to reach me?
Yeah, there's a few people typing.
Okay, I'm going to wait a minute or two for you to type.
When will the press release template be posted?
And by the end of this week. If you didn't hear that, the press release template will be posted on the social media toolkit by the end of this week. So starting Monday, you could take it to your communications department. A few other people are typing. I'll wait a minute. Do people need an account to participate with comments? Okay. We made it a very low bar for them to create an account, but they do not officially need an account to write a comment. They could write a comment, but then they have to confirm who they are through an email confirmation. So if they're going to create more than one comment, it's easier for them to create an account, and they get a lot of privileges by creating an account. They get to see their history. They get to see a lot of other things on the site that they don't if they don't create an account. So if you're writing to your friends and neighbors and parents and children, urge them to create an account. Okay. So I think I'll move on, and then we'll look back if there are more questions. Okay. So now I'm going to start to show you what the showcase looks like. So this is the home page, and the most important thing on this page is that login. If you don't log in, it will not recognize who you are. And I should mention that the site looks different depending on who you are. It associates you with your presentation. Presenters see the site differently than facilitators do, and then they both see the site differently than everybody else to the site sees it. So it's very important that you log in. And once you log in, you're going to see your activity. So in this case, Cindy is seeing her activity, and she sees comments that she's made, how many comments that she's made to other presentations. It shows how many available votes for presenter's choice, which we'll get to. It shows your recent viewing history, and it shows those videos that you've commented on. I just want to address something here. Okay, we'll get to the next screen. So this is what it looks like when you click on those that you've commented on. You can get to see those that you commented on and those who commented on yours. You are automatically subscribed to your own presentation, and what that means is when somebody posts your presentation during the 1 week of the event, you get a notification to your email. And that allows you to be drawn back to the site. You don't have to be drawn back every single time you get an email. You could wait till the end of the day, but we ask that you log in every day to answer the emails that come to your site. When you post to someone else's presentation, you are also automatically subscribed. So if you're a really good citizen and you post to 15 presentations, you may start getting more notifications than you want to get. And this is where you can unsubscribe. So it's very easy from this page to unsubscribe to presentations if you feel like you're getting flooded. Does anybody have a question about that? I'm going to hold it for a second.
Does the notification email go to all co-presenters?
Yes, they do. Co-presenters are treated like presenters for this. So, you know, if you have some co-presenters, it's nice to say, hey, why don't you get on in the morning, I'll get on in the afternoon, so you do a little rotation of answering questions. Okay, next.
There was one question earlier that's a little, do you want me to wait for it? Or?
No, go ahead.
So she said, you mentioned numbers a couple of times. Are specific numbers visits to video reported to each presenter presentation team after the event?
I'm going to get to that later in the presentation. So it's a good question. Hold it, and I promise to answer it. Okay. So back on the home page, across the top, you see these tabs, Home, Videos, Presenters, and Facilitators. If you click on the Presenters tab, we can't scroll down here because this is a screenshot. So you're going to see all the presenters and co-presenters that are participating this year, which number approximately 850 of you. So if you're used to going to conferences and seeing some people you know, I could assure you that you will see people that you know here. So this is a really fun place to go and see, oh, which of my colleagues are also presenting, and then go to their videos and comment on their videos. So this is one way of doing that. There's also 57 facilitators this year, and I will talk about the role of facilitators in a little bit. But basic, I'll talk about it right now, in fact. They set a positive tone for the discourse. We coached them before in how to set a positive tone for this discourse. This is not supposed to be a critique of your work. You've all done great work because you've all been awarded a federal grant. So they're not a panel who is critiquing your work, but they're asking curious questions. They'll be asking questions about how you measure things, their impact. Did you think about scaling things up? What's your secret sauce for getting participation? There's all sorts of questions, and these really help set a positive, constructive tone for the event. They also choose, as we said before, presenters can choose Presenter's Choice Awards, and the facilitators choose a Facilitator's Choice Award, which, again, I'm going to get to later. But every presentation, or every group of 12 presentations, has 3 facilitators assigned to it. So over the course of the first 5-6 days, you should hear from 3 different facilitators, and you'll recognize them as facilitators because it will have the word facilitator under their name. Do we know that those facilitators, yes, so Felicia, you will know that they're facilitators because it will say facilitators under their name. Okay, next. Okay, here is a preface of the 3 different kinds of recognition, and I'm not going to stay on this deeply now. I'll get to the mechanics of it later, but I want to explain because some people of you are asking, not yet on the chat box, but if I give you a few minutes, you will. Why do we have recognitions at all? So I want to address that. First of all of you are recognized by being on this video showcase. But we have motivations for 3 different kinds of recognitions, which I want to be transparent and share why we have them. There is a Public Choice Award. The Public Choice is invited to select presentations that they feel are most meritorious through Facebook by likes or shares, although shares are more effectual than likes, through Twitter, and on the site itself by sending an email ballot. All of these 3 things are actually done from your presentation page. You don't go to Facebook and do it. You don't go to Twitter. You go from the presentation page and you click on the Facebook link and Twitter link. The reason that we do this is because this makes the video showcase go viral, and that's the reason that last year we got 36,000 people coming within 1 week. You all share it to your collegial and social networks, and then they share it, and it's reshared, and it's reshared, and that creates a tremendous excitement and enthusiasm. And that's how we reached people last year from 186 countries. So that is why we have the Public Choice. It's a way of building support, interest, and engagement in the showcase. We have Presenter's Choice to recognize that presenters and co-presenters deserve a special place in recognizing excellence, but we also have another reason for having Presenter's Choice, which is you can each vote for your own. I know that's going to be a question, and we encourage you to vote for your own. But here's the thing. You have to vote for 3 other presentations for your vote to count. And the reason why we do that, and you could only vote for 4. The reason why we do that is it gets you off your own page, and it gets you to visit the presentations of others and to start posting to others, and that creates community and engagement and involvement. And the last kind of recognition, as I said before, we have 3 facilitators assigned to each group of 12 presentations. Actually, this year it will be 12 to 13 presentations. And each facilitator group recognizes 1 presentation per group based on a rubric, which I will show you later in this presentation. So actually, is there any questions on this? Maybe I'll just wait 1 minute so far. Okay, I'm going to continue. So we're still on the home page. And to your right, you can see the circle of latest activity, which you'll see that people during the event are going to be coming every minute to the showcase. It's a very, very lively event. And to the left, you see recent visitors to the showcase. And then you also see where the showcase has been viewed. So this blows up to be a map of the world. And on the first day, there's not going to be a lot of activity, but come back on day 3, day 4, day 5, and you'll see how the spread is of this showcase internationally. Okay. Probably the most important button after the login button, I said that was the most important, but the second most important button for you is the button that says Explore Videos, because that's how it gets you to see the presentations. And when you click on it, you get to what we call the grid page. Okay. So maybe this is the second part. This presentation is in 4 parts. So if anybody has any questions on part 1.
I did a couple questions about whether or not co-presenters and presenters vote.
Yes, presenters and co-presenters vote for presenter's choice. And you could all vote for public choice as well. You're part of the public. Okay, so I think Catherine's answering the questions as they come in, so I'm going to move on. So this is the grid page, and when you first come to it, you're going to see 241 or 242, we're still debating on one video, videos, which is a lot. So you're going to need a way to filter those videos to find the ones that are of interest to you. So the first way is above the circle where it says name text search. You could do a text search if you're interested in frogs, put that in, and you'll see what you get back. So you could put anything in there. You could put the name of a friend. You could put in a name of a topic, and you should get a return. Maybe not for frogs, I'm not sure, but possibly. Okay. The second way is with keywords, and you could see that we have multiple keywords, and you could click several keywords, so we'll show this to you. In this case, this is taken from last year or the year before. If you clicked engineering, you got 38 results for that keyword, and if you combined engineering with broadening participation, you got 8 results for that keyword. And so that's a way to filter 240 results to 8, which seems much more manageable. I'll continue. And then there's also underneath, if you're thinking, gee, you know, I have 10 colleagues who are really interested in the intersection of broadening participation and engineering. I'd love to send them these 8 results. Well, you could do that because the 8 results or any of your results has a unique URL, and you can share that URL and say these are results for engineering and broadening participation, and you could share it through email, through Facebook, or Twitter. Okay, I'll stop here for any question.
So someone said, can we vote 4 times each day during the event?
I'm going to come back to voting later. So any voting questions, I'm going to answer later, okay? And I want to de-emphasize the voting, and I want to emphasize community and discourse and really offering ideas and feedback and resources. So throughout, you'll see I have a tilt towards that. Okay, another way to filter these 241 videos is that you could look at it by which program in NSF funded it. Actually, we have a person on the line today who actually suggested this filter. NSF really likes this filter because it gets to show them all the projects associated with their program that are being showcased. But it also maybe shows you those that are in the program that you're most familiar with and what kind of work is being done by that program, or if you should ever want to submit a proposal to a different program, it gives you some examples of things that that program is funding. The top group will be the group of funders that are not NSF, and then the bottom group is programs within NSF. Okay, next. You could also filter. We ask you when you submit who your primary audience is and your secondary audience. Most people write researchers or teachers. So those we don't include as secondary audiences, but we do include the ones like policymakers that don't get a lot of votes, or K-12 administrators in that group, even if it was your secondary audience. Okay, next. Okay, and then when you go to this grid and you scroll over any one of these thumbnails, you're going to see the keywords associated with this thumbnail. So in this particular one, it's engineering, technology, and broadening participation. And so that's another way to get like a little preface, do I really want to go and view this? Okay. So now we're going to get to the part of the presentation which shows actually your presentation page. So are there any questions about the grid and how you filter? Not about voting, but about the grid. Any questions? We'll take them now. Can we update the alternate audiences for, no, there's no more updating. We're done with updating. But it's okay. That's fine. They will still come. Robert, did you have a question? I saw it for a second and it disappeared. Okay, I'm going to move on, and we'll look for it later. Okay, so now this is an example of a single presentation page. So you could see in the top left, this is the video. And this video could be blown up to be full screen, and each video has closed captions. Unless you submitted a video that has no narration, then it's not going to have closed captions. But otherwise, they all have closed captions that we put in. So you can check this, Barbara, Sunday evening after 5 o'clock, and at that point you will see the thumbnail that you use. But if you have a particular thumbnail that you want us to use, you can send us a screenshot to the contact file. Okay. So actually, the thumbnails that you see now, if you've gone to look at your video presentation, are not the thumbnails that we use. We have a videographer who goes through every presentation and picks a nice thumbnail for you. So I wouldn't look at the thumbnails now if you're looking at, to review your presentation. That's not the thumbnail that you're going to see. The thumbnail is going to be chosen by a videographer. Unless you have a thumbnail you're in love with, then you can send it to us. Okay. So to the top left is the video, and to the top right is information about the presenter. In this case, there are no co-presenters, but if there were co-presenters, their images would show here as well. Underneath that is an abstract of this project. Underneath that is a share presentation button, and this is to Facebook and Twitter and email. And here is where, during the event, if you click on it, it brings up a thumbnail that's been chosen for you or that you've chosen that goes along with your post to Facebook or Twitter. It will fit the dimensions needed for Facebook and Twitter, and it suggests a post, but you can alter the post to be anything that you want. Underneath it, every presentation has a map, and this question was asked earlier. Can we see how many people visit? So you can see the number of views, which is different than the number of visitors, because views is every time you tap the page, you get a view. Visitors is different. So you can see a map that's specific to your project, and on the first and second day, there'll be very few triangles. This particular map is from PhET Simulations, and this project did a lot of outreach work, and you could see that they did outreach internationally, and it spread internationally. And there are PhET users who are using the project internationally. So some projects lend themselves to having more international participation than others. Okay. Questions?
A couple of people have asked about LinkedIn because there are a lot of connections to teachers and administrators on LinkedIn.
So actually, could we add could we add an image for LinkedIn?
Not a customizable thumbnail.
Okay.
At this point, maybe for next year.
So we cannot add a customizable thumbnail for LinkedIn, but you should feel free to steal your image, copy and paste it, put it in LinkedIn, and add your own text and spread it through LinkedIn. If that's where your community is, please take that extra step. It's just really a copy and paste, and it will work. Okay. All right. Underneath the map, still on this presentation page, the text here is probably too small for you to read, but it says related videos that you might be interested in. So we run an algorithm before the site goes live that's based on the text in your title, the text in your abstract, the text that goes through all the closed caption text throughout your video, your keywords, and it finds other videos that are similar. You may think that they're very related or not related. Algorithms don't work always exactly as they should, but we hope that this vehicle, and we've gotten a lot of positive feedback about this in past years, helps you find videos that are related to yours. And a lot of people have found people doing similar work or related work, and collaborations have started and new connections have formed for future work, and we think that that's a fabulous win. So, okay. All right, I'm about to start the part that's probably most important here, which is about the discussion. But I will wait for a minute to see if there's any unanswered questions. Catherine, can you help me?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Did you answer the question about the site statistics?
Well, the site statistics, you will see it on your map, and you will also see the number of views on your page. So you can see that above that like and share and tweet, you can see the views, and when you click on the map, you'll see the number of users and where they're from. Okay. All right, so now the arrow here, if you see underneath the video, there's 3 tabs: discussions, presenter's choice, and vote for public choice. So we're going to go through these 3 tabs. The most important one is the discussion one. So this is where the discussion takes place, and we go to the next slide. And the discussions are not like great job, Joe. They're pretty meaty, they're interesting, they offer insights and resources and feedback and ideas, and we hope you offer that to others. And so we wanted to show you one and what it looks like. So in this case, Jacqueline writes, I'd like to hear about the professional development for teachers in this project. Now, interestingly, the professional development for teachers in the project didn't feature in the video, but it's actually an important part of the project. But not everything could feature in your video, because you all know that. You can't include everything in a 3-minute video. And Andy writes back, thanks for your question. And she talks about 2 kinds of professional development that they offer. One is addressing the technical development for teachers to feel more comfortable with the software and the platform. And the second is how to build classroom discussions and examine student work, and how they work with coaches and with teachers in the classroom. So this is kind of like what makes projects work behind the scenes. Sometimes it just looks like from the videos, oh, everything's working, but how do you get it to work? And these discussions are really important in bringing that out. And also, when Andy answers Jacqueline, it's not only Jacqueline who sees this post. everybody who comes to your discussion sees this post. And that's why it's quite superior to a poster session where you're usually talking to one person and the next person who comes has no idea what the conversation was. Okay, next post. We also wanted a way, so I mentioned before that you can invite aunts, uncles, parents, cousins to come to the video. We found that, and first of all, one of the most refreshing things I once heard from a presenter, it was the first time my mother understood what I did. So I love that. So feel free to send it to your family. We've noticed that people who are not researchers or teachers are more hesitant to post. And so we wanted an easy way for them to post, to acknowledge that they were there. So if someone posts a message to you, you can upvote it by like a thumbs up, or they could upvote something that they think is helpful. And that's a way for you to recognize people who post and for other people to say that they found it helpful. So there's that. And just speaking about that, it's helpful to encourage people who aren't your hardcore researchers, like parents. If you want parents to actually post, you're going to have to encourage them. You're going to have to write to them and say, I want when you come and you view my video, post to it, or else they're not going to do that. Okay, next. The second tab is Presenter's Choice. And as I said before, the reason that we have this is, one, to give presenters a special opportunity to recognize excellence, but two, to get you off your own page and to get you onto the presentations of others. So if you go to the next. So when you go, you will see that one presentation has been added, and then when they click on this presentation, it's not so clear from the screenshot, but it will be quite intuitive on the site. It adds it to your row of 4 possible votes. And let's just say you voted for 4 presentations, and then you see a 5th one, which is just fabulous. And you say, oh my gosh, I really want to vote for that one. You could X out one of the ones you voted for and switch it. So you can edit it up till 8 o'clock on the last day, on the 20th. Okay. And then the last is voting for public choice. And so this tab is visible to you, but it's also visible to everyone. If you could go to the next page. So under each presentation, when you click on vote for public choice, you see the icons of Facebook, Twitter, and email ballot, and this is how you vote for public choice. So it's from the presentation page, you click on the icon of Facebook or Twitter, and that's where you post to it, and that's how your votes get counted. And we get every year, but I have an uncle or aunt or grandparent or child who does not use Facebook or Twitter, so therefore you can get an email ballot and send it to us that way to be inclusive. Okay. We mentioned facilitator's choice before, so every group of 12 videos has 3 facilitators, and every facilitator fills out this rubric online related to each video. And so we want to share with you, and as we shared this at the very beginning, so there was no secrets, what they judge it on. It's on a scale of 1 to 5, from poor to excellent. The first is creatively uses video to share the work with a public audience. The second is provides an effective narrative which describes the problem that motivated the project. I will say right now that we have some videos that are really beautiful, and they creatively use video, but they never describe the problem that they're doing or the intervention or the innovation or the research. So you see that we weight that pretty heavily because the second and the third item relates to the narrative. Do you have a coherent narrative about what your project's about, why you're doing your project, what your intervention is, your innovation or research? And the fourth thing on the rubric is addresses the impact of the project, and this could be on participants or educational practice or research and theory or on other stakeholders, and how the impact has been and will be measured. And for the 80% of you who are now feeling worried because they didn't include impact in their video, I will say to you that many people do not get to include impact in their video. Hopefully the facilitators will be coached to ask you about it, and you could write about it in the discussion. And everything that's written in the discussion counts in their judges' scores. So this is a multimodal event. And people look not only at the video, but at the discussion and even links that you may have included to your project.
Dan Johnson has a question. Will the rubric scores from facilitators be available to presenters as private feedback?
No. So we do not provide the scores. We only, each group, what we do is we take the 3 facilitator scores, we take the average score, we take the highest score from each group and award them with facilitator's choice. So just one thing I want to say to all of you, if you didn't win facilitator's choice, it does not mean that your project wasn't super exemplary. Because you could have 2 facilitators who loved it and 1 facilitator who didn't. You could have a project that got 0.0001 score above another project. So this is just a very loose way of acknowledging quality by the 3 facilitators. So there are 3 forms of recognition at the end. There'll be 19 probably presentations selected, 1 from each group as facilitator's choice. There'll be some that are recognized as presenter's choice that have been selected by presenters and co-presenters. And then the public choice is tallied by Facebook likes and shares and tweets and votes on the site. And you may participate in public choice on any video within the competition. And I should really erase the word competition. That should be within the video showcase. Because again, this is about community, it's about discourse, it's about learning from each other, connecting to each other, finding people who are doing similar work, and the recognition is secondhand. These presentations that are recognized in any of these 3 forms will be featured on the site the day after, the 21st, on May 21st, and they may be featured by NSF. However, we send NSF many other videos as well. NSF sends us a request for videos every month related to different themes of the month, and we do not only send them videos that are recognized. And also each of the resource centers usually highlight videos that come from the resource centers, and so they too are not only looking at recognized videos. Okay, all of you are deserving of recognition. Voting is secondary. I've said that 10 times. Hope you got it. The video showcase serves to increase public interaction and dissemination, increase presenter interaction across multiple NSF programs, and provide various forms of recognition. Here's the main point of the showcase. Disseminate your work and receive feedback from multiple audiences. Make new connections and contacts by connecting to people who you see are other presenters or that have related videos or have videos that are in keywords that are related to your own. Learn of new resources that will enrich your work and may change the direction of your work. Share your resources and enlarge your network of people interested in adapting your work. Each year we get some schools saying, oh, I would love to use this. Can you send me some more resources? So that happens. Learn and contribute to your colleagues' work. I'd love to see some yeses if I've made my point that you really got to contribute to other people in order for them to contribute to you. Okay? Provide your questions, your resources, your ideas, and expertise so that if there's one point that you take home from this webinar, let that be it. And have an opportunity to discuss how you and others are measuring impact. This is a challenge for many, many people. So if it's a challenge for you, you're not alone. And so take this way of exploring this area with others.
So we have a couple of questions about how often do you suggest coming back to post comments. I'm a first-time co-presenter. How much time should I expect to be online? And post the questions or respond to questions from others?
So on average, people spend 5 hours during the course of the week. That's an average. There are people who spend a lot more and some people who spend a lot less. The more time you spend, and not only on your own presentation, but posting to others, the more you'll get out of it. So,
and you can do it, you know, because it's online, you can do it when you have time.
Oh, and I did forget to say something about the facilitators, about who they are. The facilitators are a very diverse and mixed group, and we chose them that way. They represent researchers who are well known in the field. They represent teacher leaders who are acknowledged teacher leaders. They represent informal educators and policymakers, and we really tried to mix it up so that we hope that you get various perspectives from them. And so I guess I forgot to say that. Okay. All right, so I will wait now. I finished 3 minutes early for your questions, but you will have questions maybe after we end this webinar. And in that case, send them to contact@stemforall2019.videohall.com. And please whitelist this address so that if we send stuff to you back from here, it's not going into your spam. Okay, I'll open this up for questions. And maybe you could tell me after the questions if this was helpful or not. I hate not seeing you. Will people who post comments get an email when their comment is answered? You get comments about when further comments are posted to that presentation, yes. Okay, thank you, Michelle. Anybody else have any last lingering questions? This is our 4th year in the showcase, and it keeps getting better. Thank you. Invite a guest 25, whoever you are. Okay. If it's your 4th year, you must have been really bored by this presentation. No, I apologize to you for that. Okay. So we're so excited that you came to this webinar. Share the webinar. As we said, we're going to mail it to you with the link to the webinar. Share it to co-presenters or presenters who couldn't come. And we really thank you for attending and also for being presenters. And we hope that it's a fabulous experience for all of you.